my heart. Point away to Arkansas and throw me like a dart. Bathe me up in lithium, God knows I need a friend. In a hot spring, new dream, well, start another band, play it, boys.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing with our SteakAger. It's a special project that I've been working on, and we're aging a subprimal ribeye roast. I've not done much with dry aged beef, but I've always wanted to play with it and I've always been curious. And so what I did is I went out and I found this SteakAger online, did a little bit of research. Looks like a pretty cool unit. So we started with a full Wagyu ribeye roast from our friends at Mill Creek Meat Company, and we put this guy in there. I wish I'd have been able to take some more video for you when we put it in, but we were running out the door on vacation, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity to get it in. And so we went ahead and put it in, and today we're going to be pulling that ribeye roast out. We're at almost 40 days, and we're going to pull it out and we're going to cut it up into steaks, and we're going to see how it turned out. I'm excited about this. So this is our actual SteakAger. Looks a whole lot like a dorm fridge or maybe a wine fridge. SteakAger teamed up with Danby refrigerator maker to actually make this and produce this unit. And I've got this guy in the garage right now because I hadn't really figured out where to put it in the house, but I actually like to keep it in the house because I think it'd be a great conversation piece. But SteakAger's actually taken this thing, and they've got some accessories that I don't have in here right now because I didn't have them at the time that I received the unit and put this beef in here. But they've got a humidifier that I've actually got now. They've got some actual cages that help you put your meat in there a little bit better. And then they outfit it with this proprietary device in the back that actually, as I understand it, it circulates the air, and there's an infrared light in there that actually kills any harmful bacteria or anything like that. Makes it the ideal environment, if you will, to dry age this beef. This guy's been in here 45 days. It's a prime rib roast, and we're going to pull this guy out and see how we did with it. Wish us luck. This is the point in the video. If you hadn't liked and subscribed, please do it now. Also ring the bell so that you know when I drop new content. Leave comments about what you think about the videos. If you got any tips on how I can do this better, let me know. Let's get back to the show. What we're doing today is we're experimenting with dry aged beef in the dry aging process. So dry aging is the process that you take fresh meat, if you will, and dry age it for a number of days, weeks, months. I've even heard of guys doing this stuff for like 200 days. So you can take it a long way. We've taken this 45 days, and really what the process does, it intensifies the flavor of the beef, number one, and then it's supposed to make your steaks, I guess through the decomposition process, it's supposed to make your steaks a whole lot more tender. So this is my first ever experiment with dry aged beef. I've had dry aged beef in the restaurants, and I've always wanted to try it here at the house, and I saw that the SteakAger fridge was out, so I thought I'd get one and give it a try and see what we could come up with. So we put this subprimal prime rib roast in the SteakAger about 45 days ago, and this is the first time I'm seeing it outside of the refrigerator, and it's a trip, man, to look at this thing. It's at first glance it's really hard, it's waxy, and I'm eager to open it up and see what we've got on the inside. So when I got the SteakAger, I didn't get all the components at the very beginning. I didn't get the humidifier, and I didn't get these actual cool cages. These are the hangers that SteakAger has made, and if I'd have had these at the time, I could have put this beef inside of this cage, and then I could have used butcher twine to basically secure it into the cage and then hung it up in the refrigerator. And I think what that would have done is that would have helped me retain the shape. To square this thing up, I'm going to lose quite a bit on the end. And this might have helped me with that process. Another thing that's cool about this is these lines would have been imprinted, these bars would have been imprinted into the beef, and these guys are 1.5 inches apart, and that would have helped me cut the beef up into perfect 1.5 inch steaks. So wish I would have had these in time, but I didn't, so we made do with the actual hooks. Okay, so we've got our hooks that we had to hang it up in the refrigerator off, and I'm checking this roast out for the first time, and it's crazy how hard this is and how kind of dehydrated it feels. It's just real waxy, and I'm looking forward to cutting this up and seeing what we do have inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into individual steaks, and then this hard area, this hard shelly area on the outside is called the pellicle, and we're going to remove the pellicle after we've cut it into individual steaks. And this is a full ribeye roast, and it was an expensive piece of meat, so I hope we didn't ruin it, but I'm going to attempt to square it off. And you'll notice here how out of square this guy is, so I'm going to have to take a good chunk of meat off of the front here to get this thing square for steaks. But not to worry, because the actual pellicle and all of this actually makes really good beef broth. It also makes for really good adding to your hamburger meat to really intensify the beef flavor in your hamburgers. And so let's go ahead and get this thing squared off. And this sucker is hard. So it definitely lost a lot of water weight, and it actually shrunk. I'll put this aside and use this for hamburger. It has a very intense beef smell, aroma, a little bit earthy, a little bit nutty. So it's been really hard to cut with my normal knives. So I'm gonna switch over to this guy and see if I can make it any better. I'm gonna cut these guys into 1.5 inches. And so basically the distance between my knuckle and my back knuckle here is about 1.5 inches. And so that's what I'm going to start with. And we're just going to cut these guys down. So this is our first steak right here. And so we'll just go around and remove all of this pellicle and see what we're dealing with at the end. Cut up into basically 1.5 inch steaks. And guys, this is a ribeye. This started out as a Wagyu, so I'm used to Wagyu beef being small, but these ribeyes are really, really small. So kind of a trip to see that. But I'm going to go ahead and start taking the pellicle off of these steaks. And the pellicle, again, if you just take it right off that edge there, and basically we're just cutting off the discolored pellicle there. That would not make a good bite. So we've got the pellicle off of our first ribeye. Very, very beefy flavor. It smells absolutely amazing. And so this is our first little ribeye at a 45-day age. So I'm going to trim the pellicle off of the rest of these ribeyes, and then we're going to vacuum seal the rest of them and put them in the freezer for later consumption. But we're going to eat a couple of them tonight and see how they turned out. Okay, so we've got our ribeye roast all butchered up. Look at all the intramuscular marbling. This is Wagyu. Wagyu beef, especially ribeyes, tend to be a lot smaller, but the aging process really, really made them small. So I'm eager to get these things on the grill and see how they do. We're gonna take our pellicle and we're just gonna freeze it. We're gonna put it in a sandwich bag and just freeze it. And we'll use that for making beef stock or grind it up with hamburger, and it'll actually be delicious. And so let's get to this and let's continue our experiment and see how these things turn out. So we've got the steaks that we're going to cook tonight. We're going to see how delicious these are, hopefully. We've got these others vacuum sealed and ready to go into the freezer. We've got our pellicle ready for another day. And let's get to this. I'm going to clean my butcher block up, get these guys seasoned, and get ready to go onto the grill. We're going to season them up. I'm super excited about tasting that aged beef. Okay, so I don't want to mask this with a lot of different seasonings or exotic seasonings. So I'm going to keep it simple tonight. We're going to do salt, black pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and season these guys up, and I've got a treat for you tonight. We're cooking them on the blazing bull because that's where I feel like I'm going to have the most control. And I'm going to get these guys to the perfect medium rare, and I hope they're delicious. Let's see. Okay, so we've got these guys seasoned. We're gonna let them sit like this for a little while, come down to room temperature. They're still a little bit cool. And we're gonna take them out and put them on the blazing bull here in just a few minutes. And then it'll be time to tell you what I think about dry aged beef. To the grill. Okay guys, so we're cooking on my favorite piece of backyard grilling equipment, and it's the Blazing Bull. This guy is awesome. It sears the perfect steak. It's restaurant technology, and it's just super simple, and I really wanted it with our aged beef because I don't want to mess these steaks up tonight. And so we're going to see how this turns out. So I'm letting it preheat right now. I've got the griddle part all the way to the top, so we're getting it really, really hot and burning everything off. Then we're going to put these steaks on and get going. Ready to go on with these steaks. And so basically, little tip with the Blazing Bull, pull your tray out first. Then this is your cooking surface. And we're going to go on with these two thickest ones first. You hear these guys sizzling. That's because I've got this thing already hot, ready to cook. Taking that in, and I'm going to probably almost to the very top there so that I can get a good sear on those steaks. Look at that awesome sear on these guys so far. And the secret here is just to do a minute or two on each side. Back to the top until we get that center to about 115, probably on these thick steaks is where we're going to pull these off. Then we're going to let them rest, and they're going to come up to about 125, 130, which is where I like my steak. We're sitting here with a really good sear. And man, we're there. We're going to take these down to the butter bath and let them finish down here while we put our third steak up. So this is just salted butter and rosemary. Steaks are done. They've been off of the Blazing Bull and they've rested for probably about 5-6 minutes. And now we're going to cut these guys up and taste them and see what we've done here. So let's start with the cap. I can smell that beefy, kind of an earthy flavor of the age. It smells really good. Okay guys, so I'm going to have a taste of this guy now, see what I think about this. A little bit of rosemary butter. Man, I get hit with big beef first, and it's delicious. A little nutty, a little earthy, but not crazy, not really funky at all. Tastes like an awesome steak. I think 45 days is a good entry level point for aged beef. This is really good. I need to hurry up and load that fridge up with some more. Okay guys, so what do I think about dry aged beef? Man, I'm gonna tell you what, we took a minute and the family just came in and devoured those steaks, and we just took some time to just really take it in. That beef had a very rich, bold, beefy flavor. It's the only way that I can describe it. The flavor was absolutely on point. I would definitely do it again. I'd advise you to go get a SteakAger and do your own experiment with dry aged beef. I'm gonna load that thing back up with something and we'll get it going again. If you hadn't liked and subscribed, do it now. Ring the bell so that you know when we drop new videos. I'm glad you stopped by. We'll see you the next time.